So I'm Mohit Sharma. I'm part of Mindfields, and we are always ahead in the curve. Our vision is to educate the market as a thought leader, be a trusted client advisor to our clients when it's come to implementation, and be innovator. So always come with the new ideas and technologies to help our client to achieve a business outcomes. We have been recognized globally. We have got by Gartner, by Deloitte, by IDC, by HFS Research, and we are continuously covered by various financial media across the world. Um, Next slide. So we have got various markets client, and our tagline "Grow for Tomorrow" reflects what we want to do in the market. And over the last 10 years, you can see here, it was founded in '06. But for last 10 years in particular, we have been evolving across multiple technologies, from RPA to conversational AI to NLP, and now Gen AI. And we have got various multiple market clients. Next slide, Ayush. You can see across various verticals from Europe to US, Asia, and Australia. We have got clients across multiple verticals like healthcare, banking, mining, finance, utilities. And we have got to learn a lot of things over the last 10 years in particular about how the companies adopt new technologies. And in continuation of that, we have partnered with Katonic, which is also a leading uh, platform and recognized by various uh, third-party advisory firms. So I will hand over now to Piyush to introduce himself and Katonic and take to the next step of our webinar. Over to you, Piyush.
Thank you so much, Mohit. Hello again, everyone. I'm Piyush. I've joined Katonic recently, but it's been like, as our CEO Prem says, it's 1 week in Gen AI is like 1 year in the outside of the world. So I've been, gathering 14 years of experience in just, 3, 4 months. I work in customer success department where my job is to, ensure the projects get success and the clients get the right ROI from the AI investments. Previously, I worked with large tech companies focused on solving the healthcare and utility sector problems specifically. Uh, Starting with Catonic introductions, we started off as a MLOps platform company where we help data scientist community to manage the entire model life cycle. And with introduction of our Gen AI platform, now we are able to reach to end developer community, and also with no code platform, the business users can create the no code applications out of the box. So literally, you don't really need to have a technical experience to create Gen apps with our platform now. Uh, Coming to our strategic alliances and partners, we have big names now all across the geography. We have Everest, Cost as clients, and there are many more partners to give you right expertise and to give you right tools to implement the Gen AI applications for your organization. Can you move to next, Ayush? Yeah. So talking about awards, we have been featured in the average peak metrics report for our vision on the MLOps and Gen AI platform. We have also been featured on Frost and Civilian report for our MLOps platform. It was awarded the best MLOps platform in the APAC region. We have also got recently featured in our Google story for our work in the enterprise AI, enterprise generative AI. So yeah, a lot of exciting stuff's happening there also. Can you move to next slide? So if you really look at the overall generative AI space right now, the organizations are trying to solve majorly three problems. They want to increase the productivity, they want to automate their processes, and they want to improve the CX. Now, where GenAI can help is, for increasing the productivity, they'll go with, creating internal chatbots. For automation, they'll create APIs which can, take documents or take complaints and, automate the entire process. And for customer support also, they'll be creating a chatbot to, streamline the support process. Now at Catonic, we have solution for all of this. We have our companion ACE companion product, our code assist product, and automation studio plus converse product for to cater all of these requirements from the client. Now, talking about overall platform architecture, as I've explained, we started off as a MLOps platform. So your entire model life cycle of preparing the data set, training the model on it, then validating the model, tuning, deploy, and automate is handled through MLOps platform. For GenAI platform, you can do few short training, prompt tuning. You can also do the fine tuning and generate no code GenAI application out of the box, right? So the entire package is to solve all your, AI related problems, be it traditional AI or be it a generative AI problem. So that's about Catonic platform. Mohit, we can start with our agenda today. Happy to, hand over it to you. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Piyush. I also want to know from the audience, let's start with the poll first. I just want to understand from the audience that where they are in their Gen AI journey. So it is important for us to know at what stage they are. It will help us to also construct our answers accordingly for the today's session. So over to you, Ayush, to run the. So Piyush, you mentioned that Catonic has been there for last 2.5, 3, 4 years.
3 years.
And for last 1 year, last 1 year, you have been exploring into Gen AI and launching different products. It is very important also for the audience to know that what recognition you have been getting from various Australian AI forums. Can you just spare a couple of seconds on them before, as the audience is in the process of polling?
Sure, Mohit. So, as I explained, right, we have been getting multiple feedbacks from the community, right? The Frost Villain Award, and even that was given for us for best MLOps platform in the APAC region. Also, the Google story, which is published, which also was specifically for APAC region, and we were rated for, our business impact on that, highly rated on that business impact. So yeah, getting a lot of traction there. Yes.
So, Piyush, as you can see from the polling result, that most of the participants are in pilot or in exploring stage, which is about 92% of audience. So let's design today's conversation on the pilot side of things, that what lessons you have learned when you were doing pilots for various organizations, and how to make it successful, and what points to consider or checklists to consider. So let's start with our question aiming to target 92% of audience today, and also cover some points regarding what needs to be done for the 8% of the audience who have started the journey already.
Sure, Mohit.
So, yeah, so coming to the journey, Piyush, I would like to understand from you that what does the overall journey looks like for a Gen AI implementation, and what are the most preferred use cases which are done in pilot stage?
Sure, Mohit. So, as I explained, most of the organizations are looking for productivity increase and operational excellence. Along with that, they will definitely want to, automate their processes to achieve these two goals. To cater to these two requirements, the products which are available in market and overall GenAI, where GenAI can scope in is the chatbot. So the problem right now is a lot of organizations have, enormous amount of data, internal data, which if I really speak about, then it takes almost 3 to 4 months for employee to, get accustomed to all this data and get a full gist of this knowledge. So, what best use case I think organizations are looking for is the onboarding chatbot, where they can create a chatbot which will help the newcomer employee to get accustomed to all the knowledge the organization already have. So instead of reinventing the wheel, they'll easily get all the experience from the past employees, the SOPs, the guidelines, and they can start with this particular use case. So a lot of clients are coming up with this use case. Rest are, department specific chatbots where they will really want one department to specifically focus on those their SOPs and guidelines for a better efficiency and productivity of that department. Third is, as I said, about the automation use cases where they'll want to automate their document processing, KYC, or some document validation, extraction, all of it. These are the primary use cases, yes. But when it comes to pilot, it is important to define the scope and then move forward with the production release of it.
And also regarding the boundaries between the pilot and the production
Yeah,
release.
that is very important. Yeah, it is important to define that, right? So that the pilot is confined between a proper scope. So you know that, yeah, the pilot is now successful, and then you move to the production. Yeah, Mohit.
Yeah, I think
Now, yeah,
go ahead, go ahead.
yeah. So Mohit, from my side, I also wanted to know that as a Mindfield, how do you start? Since you are a partner, initially you also start the conversations with the customers. So how do you see the journey and conversations with your customers?
Yeah. I think Piyush
Yeah,
is it's very important point to understand what are the business drivers for an organization to adopt or start a journey for Gen AI in particular, any journey they want to start. So we come from the consulting category. I used to work for McKinsey, PwC, EY in setting offices. So it is very important to achieve those business outcomes, and Gen AI or RPA or NLP, they are just a step towards the journey of transformation for a client. So what we do for Gen AI for our clients is to do a blueprint for their whole journey. We do a strategy workshop to find the right areas for Gen AI implementation, select the processes, put a prioritization of which process to go first and why, then do a roadmap for that, do a business case, ROI calculation, business outcomes. Ultimately, everybody is reporting to the board members or stakeholders on what business outcomes they will be achieving from Gen AI. And it is very important when we start any journey in Gen AI to quantify the business outcomes, like you want to achieve productivity gain by X percentage, or you want to reduce the cost by Y percentage, or you want to increase the revenue or CX by some quantifiable and monitorable parameters, KPIs. And also require your risk and compliance requirement because most of the clients are listed or banking, they have security requirements, an operating model, whether to do in-house, outsource, or hybrid, and of course, change management. So it's all covered in our AI blueprint, a Gen AI blueprint for our clients. So it's very also important for us to select the right partner, and that's why we have selected Katonic because Katonic is agnostic to also the LLMs, not only focusing on OpenAI or Google's or Meta or Grok coming from now from Elon Musk. So that is what attracted us to Katonic, because you were agnostic. So all those parameters we help our client to design before they start the journey for Gen AI. So coming back to the main question of our journey with our clients, Piyush, I would like to understand what are the key implementation consideration during the pilot, so it can be productized without the major efforts.
right. So Mohit, what happens is, every organization will have different data security appetite, right? So some will, and even within organization, each of the use case can have various data security requirements. So you, as an organization, you will be okay with sharing some of the public data to OpenAI and really get answers from it to to get the accuracy. But you will definitely have restrictions on your sensitive data that cannot be shared across the LLMs, the closed source LLMs specifically. So it is very important to define this, identify right LLM matching with your data security policy, and that's where we come in, right? We as a platform, you can build multiple applications having multiple LLMs. So one of the application you will build, say, will be using OpenAI as a LLM, while uh, other application can be sitting on the Llama LLM, which is open source and it is installed on platform, so no data goes out. So this is the most important thing in the GenAI space, where you need to decide the LLM usability based on your use case and data security. Also, it is important to once you have defined this data security policy and all of it, the platform installs on your premise, right? So it could be your own data center or it could be your own private cloud. And based on this requirement, we can install the entire platform on your premise. So we are a single tenant platform, right? So the entire platform, the LLMs will install on your premise or on your private cloud. And once that is done, literally, the applications will be built, applications will be configured, and you can take this to production without any effort. Since we install on Kubernetes, the same infra will scale, the same setup will scale to horizontally or vertically based on the operational requirement to cater to any number of users. And also you can maybe just create a replica of the same setup, use it for as a dev, and create a replica for production. So essentially what happens is, between POC and production there is no gap. The applications you have built, the setup you have created is ready for production. It's just that you need to maybe add few more data source or that kind of stuff. Yeah.
No, thanks, Piyush. You're right that data security and data qualification is the first step for any pilot implementation. So there's a poll question for the audience now, is that what are the common challenges you have faced during a pilot? Accuracy issues, security clearances, performance issues, duration of the pilot. So Piyush, data issues, I think has been a common across our clients, mostly coming from legal vertical or healthcare vertical. They have a lot of strict data requirements. So how successful Gen AI can be if we can do on-prem, which is one on-prem installation, which is one of the key differentiator of Katonic, that you can also do it on-prem compared to other platforms which have to be on the clouds.
Right, you're absolutely right, Mohit. So, as I've said, the entire platform will be installed on your premise, right? Be it on your private cloud or data center. The LLMs are now installed on your premise. So, the entire solution is, air gap. It can run literally without internet. Okay. So your internal users need not to even, have any other accessibility. You can completely air gap this solution to not get any data out of your solution. So if you as an organization are HIPAA compliant, then the platform and the entire solution will be compliant to those requirements.
So Piyush, we have also got the result from the polling, and
Yeah,
50% have accuracy issues. Security clearance, to the extent we have addressed, because you are on-prem, so a
yeah,
lot of security issues will be sorted out or will be mitigated
exactly.
with your platform. So now coming to the first issue of accuracy issues, how you see that being a big hurdle and how it can be mitigated?
Sure. So what we have done so far is we have done extensive analysis of all the closed source and open source LLMs. We have seen significant improvement in open source LLM also. And when you really talk about RAG-based applications, so it already has the knowledge, right? It just needs to reframe and understand the context and then give the answer. So certainly, I would say that the RAG-based applications can be built on both on-prem and on the closed source or open source models. Okay, so we have done this analysis. We will be happy to show it to clients so they can take a right decision. We definitely help them take a right decision based on the requirement. Also, we have I would say a IP kind of thing. We have extensive data pipeline which understands the PDF or any nature of the document, if it's say in a tabular format or if it's in a say just a simple paragraph or multi-column layout. All of that is understood by the data pipelines, and then it gives you the answer, right? So there are more accuracy checks, accuracy improvements on the platform than a simple application which you will find open source somewhere.
Thanks, Piyush. So interestingly, very interesting, response by you. So just want to understand, after the pilot success, client moves to production, and then the question comes of scalability. So can you explain, or could you explain the importance and various aspects of scalability in Gen AI?
Sure, Mohit. Scalability is obviously crucial, right? You have gone through a pilot which was successful. You have got the desired results, but ultimately it only matters when you are able to move it to production, right? All your users are able to use it. So whatever solutions we are building, it should be able to scale with your organization growth or your expanding requirements. So you'll definitely want say you release it for one of the department, and now you want to release the same solution to multiple departments, right? So all of this flexibility needs to be addressed when you are scaling from pilot to production. Second, if you talk about the aspects now, uh, the major aspect with GenAI applications, are your data, again, volume of data, the nature of data. Then cost is something which will increase between pilot to production. So you need to be mindful of, what is your budget and what is it, how much you want to really spend on these applications. Uh, Third is, you also, as I said, you will also want to have control and scalability, flexibility for the LLMs. So these are the main aspects which you should keep in mind when you are, moving from pilot to production. Sorry, Mohit, you're on mute.
Sorry, Piyush, could you start with the data source scalability in this example?
Sure, sure. So, as I have explained, the data is, a scalability issue which we need to address. Now, within data also, there are multiple challenges. One of it is the data source. Now, you as an organization will have already, say more than 70 or 100 applications, or at least, uh, good number of applications. So it's not going to happen that, you will have everything in a central place, or all the data is already available in its purest form, right? In a central place. So the solution, GenAI solution, should be capable of connecting to your various data sources. So, say it should be able to connect to your website. It should be able to connect to your employee portal if required. It should be able to connect to your SharePoint. Then GitHub or Jira, whatever project management tools you are using. So essence is the platform or application which you are building. It should be scalable to connect to multiple data sources in really quick fashion. no code solution. If you are really sitting around to build these connectors and code this for each and every application, then the entire essence of going live or scaling to production quickly is lost. So it is important to choose a platform which caters to your data source scalability quickly. Well, yeah.
So, audience, we are doing this webinar for 30 minutes for first time. Generally, we do for 1 hour, and we are nearing our time, but we'll be extending it for 15 minutes. So, if you can stay and want to be the part of the rest of the webinar, you're most welcome. So, we are extending this by 15 more minutes as we want to cover more part. We have just covered half of it. So, please feel free to stay back to close this webinar. So, we're extending by 15 more minutes. So Piyush, coming back to your data. So data volume. So you mentioned data volume. What are the challenges for data volume?
Yeah, to address that, Mohit, what happens is, again, in pilot, you will choose a particular data set, right? So say you have chose the onboarding use case, so there will be limited set of documents. But from our experience, what we have seen is in the production, this shoots up to 50K documents or maybe even a lakhs of documents. So there comes the challenge. The RAG applications or the chatbot or for that matter, any GenAI solution needs to cater to this volume. So again, we have the capabilities and experience where we can choose the right tools and technology, and we have built everything in the platform for configuration. So you want to choose a right vector DB. So we have entire vector store where you can choose any vector DB, which can cater to high volume data. So all of that is we have built in the platform now, and you can scale it to any data volume of your choice. Yeah. Yeah, Mohit.
Yeah, so uh, that's very well explained. What about the infrastructure aspect of scalability? Because infra is also a very important part of the cost and also the consideration when we are doing the consulting with the client on Gen AI. So any
Right.
lights on that?
Sure, Mohit. So we are NVIDIA validated, and in fact, those results are out, and we can save up to 70% of the infra cost between other uh, solutions out there. So how do we manage this? As we are entirely built on Kubernetes, so you can start with small set of nodes, and it will only scale when you have more number of users, or you really need more applications to be built on the platform. So the entire infra is scalable in that matter, right? You will only incur the cost when you really need to run those applications and you need to scale those applications. Also, we have uh, flexibility where you can shut down applications if you really don't need them to, so you can save more cost on that. So these are the important aspects where you really talk about the enterprise grade platform which solves the infra problems.
So can you also explain where LLM scaling is required?
Sure. Yeah, Mohit. So I'll talk about the real implementation example here. Uh, One of our clients started off with small Llama 13B for one of their chatbot. They were quite happy with it, and they also wanted to now install a Llama 7TB on the same nodes, right, on the same platform. So we were able to do both, right? We were able to install 13B also, and along with that, we were able to install 7TB, and they can literally choose any inference model for their application building. Uh, so essentially, you can also switch between these two LLMs, and with LLM, what happens is, this open source LLMs are foundation models. Uh, Eventually, what you will, as an organization, what you will want is the the LLMs should talk in your language, and more it should be fine-tuned, right? So that's where what we've done there is after a 2-3 months of this Q&A and a production release, we took this entire data set, we customized this LLM model for their own organization, and technically it's called fine-tune. So that is another activity which large organizations do prefer. The entire LLM should be customized based on their requirement. So these are the important aspects when you talk about scalability of LLM. Yeah.
So the final question on scalability is how to manage the operating cost for GenAI apps. Once you implemented that, then the ongoing costs keep on going up,
Yeah.
and our business case are getting impacted because of that. So can you please guide us of what you have learned from your all practical experience of implementing GenAI? How can we manage the operating cost for GenAI apps?
Right. So surely when you kind of use this closed source models which charge you for each and every token, it is important to build an application which can at least monitor all of this, and also give you flexibility to kind of control this. So from all our learnings, what we have done in platform is we have created a dedicated module for this cost management, where you will be able to see each and every request, the cost associated with it, which means you can also now consolidate the user level cost and the application or deployment level cost. So you can literally see that this chatbot has consumed this much of tokens or amount today, and you also have the flexibility to define those limits. So per user limit or a per deployment limit, all of that facility is also available now in the platform model. Yeah.
So, Piyush, one of the last questions is that, as you know, everyone is launching their Copilot. We have Oracle, we have SAP, we have ServiceNow, Salesforce, Automation Anywhere, UiPath. All the SaaS providers are building their own Copilots. And so, how can client can leverage Katonic in this area?
Sure. So, see, one of the problem with that approach is, as I explained, every organization will have multiple applications, and just imagine that you will have to manage licensing, and not only licensing, the entire experience is disjointed, right? You'll have to again go to each and every application and use that Copilot. What we have been working on and will be launching soon is the Copilot of our own, which will be able to connect to all these applications vertically and give you a unified experience, unified knowledge base to chat, and not only chat. It will also be able to give you the control on actions, so you can literally perform the actions on, say, GitHub or Jira to close the issue or create an issue, and so on and so forth.
So, Piyush, we do have some questions from the audience also. So the last question I have for you is that, what's the last piece of advice you will give to business looking to scale up their GenAI investment or projects?
Sure, Mohit, most important one. So, piece of advice is that everyone needs to start small, right? So if you see the poll result, uh, people are exploring, organizations are trying to start with the pilot. So that is important. You need to start small, but have a full vision of how you are going to scale this to production. So that is where we can help, right? That is where the platform approach works better. You can scale this to multiple departments and multiple use cases. So that's the most important thing I would say. Start with small, but think for the scale.
So, Piyush, we have 7 minutes left of our session, or extended session of this webinar today. So
Yeah,
I will try to cover this last session with the questions asked by the audience. But I would like to say thanks to your time. Thanks to you for your time and your insightful information about how to scale up GenAI implementation from pilot to production, and what can be the challenges the clients can face. and how to mitigate those challenges and risk. So thanks once again for your time and also helping us guiding through your platform that how it mitigates the risk of failure of GenAI implementation. So one of the questions asked by the audience is that does your platform integrate with current existing applications and workflow?
Right. So yeah, we discussed that all your applications, existing applications, can be connected to platform as a data source. Okay, that's one aspect. As an input, also we can connect to your applications, but not only that. Every application or a solution built on Katonic platform, you will be able to integrate that back to your existing application. So for one of the implementation. They really didn't wanted to have a different chatbot UI. They wanted to have their own. They wanted to use the Teams for their end users to consume the GenAI chatbot. So we could do that because, as I said, every application solution built on a Katonic platform comes with the API, secure API endpoints, and then those APIs can be used to integrate with any existing application. So we offer both the integration, right? Input and output both. I hope that answers the question, guys. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks. So one of the questions has come, what's the future roadmap for the platform and what are the new features we can expect to see in this space near future?
Right. So what we have seen so far is, definitely as a platform, you have the capabilities to build these solutions with, no code, but still people will really want to see some solutions. So we are coming up with more solutions, turnkey solutions, which will further, reduce the gap of or duration of the implementation. So we are coming up with multiple turnkey solutions which will, solve these use cases. We are enhancing our platform with more and more capabilities of agents, so you can take more and more actions. You can connect to more and more sources. So that is where the extensive work is going on. Yeah.
Piyush, sorry, Ayush, we have got 4 minutes left. So do you want to cover the last poll? So Piyush, one of the question I think you have covered that already also is what are the guidelines or checklists for a successful GenAI implementation?
Right. So checklist, I would say, would be, ensure that your data and security policies are addressed with even if you are starting with pilot, then that is the first thing you need to address. Ensure that you have the right budget defined for calculating your ROI. So these are the two main important things, Mohit, I'll highlight. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on my point.
So I will also want to add that the ROI is very, very important because any investment done should also
Okay.
give an outcome.
Yeah.
So from the business point of view, outcome is very, very important. Now coming back to the question, the poll result is that knowledge chatbot is the first priority. Second is IDP or extraction of data from the various type of documents.
Right.
So anything you have on this, Piyush, on this outcome of the poll?
Sure. So, as I've explained, on the platform, you can build both using no code interface. So you really don't need to have any technical expertise. You will literally just need to spend 10 minutes, define your knowledge, choose the configuration, and your knowledge bot will be ready for pilot. You want to have you know we are working on a schedulers also where you will get this facility of scheduling this pipelines, right, at a certain frequency, and all of it will be automated then. So knowledge bot, definitely there is a lot of extensive work going on to make it more and more robust, flexible, and quick to implement. So yeah, happy to see its implementation and inquiries also. Yeah.
So thank you very much, Piyush, again for today's session. We are
Thank you,
now
Mohit.
coming to close of our time for this webinar. And Ayush, can you display the last slide? So audience, thank you for your time and asking the question today and participating in the polls. So in case you have further queries, I think it's a very short session, and I think we will prefer to cover one more session with you, Piyush, in the future.
Sure, Mohit.
Cover the pending and also learn more from your practical experience of implementing Gen AI. So audience, if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us, and we can do a complimentary session with you regarding your Gen AI workshops or the journey. If you have already started, how can we help you to fast track it? And in case you are starting it now again, so starting it now from the start, we can help you put the guardrails so it is implemented well in time and give the real outcome, business outcomes to you and your stakeholders. So thanks once again, and thank you to Siddharth and Ayush for organizing this webinar for Katonic and Mindfields. Thank you. Thank you, Piyush.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mohit, Ayush. Thank you, audience.